cracking, y'all? We back. Hey, I want to talk about Jamie Foxx. A lot of us know there's still a lot that is not being revealed. A lot of us feel like the public, the media, is trying to bamboozle everybody and deceive everybody into thinking that Jamie Foxx is okay, and that this person who appears to be Jamie Foxx, who came out into the public recently, is really Jamie Foxx. I revealed a while back that I didn't believe it was Jamie Foxx because that tattoo in the back of his head mysteriously disappeared, and there's no explanation for why it did disappear, or nobody explained whether something happened. He got some kind of procedure done. Nothing. But then all of a sudden, he's telling Hollywood stories and P. Diddy party stories, and the next thing you know, he disappears, or he gets hospitalized. Now, there's a lot of different theories, that we heard about what could have possibly happened. But this is the main thing that stands out to me. In the past, Jamie Foxx had a huge ego, super big ego. He almost, to me, I felt like he felt that there was nobody as talented as him. I'm not talking about musically, because if we're going to talk about comedians / actors, Jamie Foxx is probably by far the most talented comedian actor. He can sing and he can play. He's a musician. He's a songwriter. Not taking that away from him at all. I'm not going to ever hate on that. I come from a music family. I can play my damn stuff. I can play, I can write, and I can sing. But I'm not going to be making it seem like that's a big part of my life like that, or the only thing surrounding my life. Jamie Foxx he's wore a lot of hats. Comedian hats, actor hats, musician hats, songwriter hats, artist hat. So, despite his many talents, the one thing I couldn't rock with Jamie Foxx on was two key things. The first thing was, I felt like he didn't want other comedians or other comedians who want to become actors. I felt like he always sabotaged them. I felt like he didn't want nobody else to outshine him. If he felt like they were a threat to him in some kind of form or fashion, Jamie Foxx would do something to sabotage them. And he would mainly try to roast them, discredit them, try to humiliate them. And I wasn't rocking with that. I wasn't feeling that. As talented as he was, I felt like Jamie Foxx should have felt like nobody was on his level anyway. So why don't you support? I don't understand why Jamie Foxx couldn't just support the people who were up and coming under him. The second thing was, I just didn't like the fact that he was always participating in some Hollywood rituals. I didn't like that he was always wearing a dress. I get it. He was the Wanda character ever since in Living Color. But I just felt like he could have had more integrity. And I just didn't understand why, he would settle for doing Hollywood ritualistic stuff, allegedly. Everything I say in this video is allegedly. Alright? It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. But I felt like allegedly Jamie Foxx was too arrogant for my liking. He was too selfish. And he was selfish in my eyes. I felt like he was selfish because he wanted all the fame. He wanted to outshine everybody. And I felt like it was more than enough money and fame for anybody who's coming up that has talent, whether they're a comedian, a singer, a musician, whatever. So I feel like in a lot of ways, Jamie Foxx's karma came back to haunt him. I felt like his karma came back to haunt him because of how he mistreated other people, how he treated other people and made them feel It was some comedian. I think his name was Doug or something like that. But I just feel like the way he cooked him, it was a roast. It was during a comedy roast. I don't forget who was the main person being roasted during that night. But I think that comedian Doug, if I'm not mistaken on his name, he was a light-skinned comedian dude. He was real funny, of course, but he just wasn't as talented and as widely accepted in the industry as Jamie Foxx was. So I just felt like Jamie Foxx was out of control, and I just felt like because he was so in good with the powers that be in the media in Hollywood, I felt like he dedicated himself to shunning any other black comedians who were up and coming and who could possibly match the same fame and income and celebrity as Jamie Foxx did. And I can't support that. I've been stopped rocking with Jamie Foxx. I think most people, the fans, they're blinded by someone's talent and their ability to do certain things. But while they're blinded by that, they don't see the certain things that these artists and these actors and comedians do that could be suspect, and that could be disgraceful and disrespectful to other up and coming people. Because I felt like as talented as Jamie Foxx was, I didn't understand why he always would go out his way to try to bring down other comedians or make a mockery out of them and try to humiliate them, all because he don't like them or he maybe feels intimidated by them. Even if he felt like they weren't as talented as him, I felt like he would go out of his way to try to bring other young comics down. It was like he was in his own class, or he tried to put himself in this elite class when he was never in no elite class to me. He wasn't better than Eddie Murphy. He wasn't better than Richard Pryor. He wasn't better than Red Fox. He wasn't even better than Martin. To me, let's be real here. Let's be 100. I saw how Jamie Foxx, early in his career, when he started coming up, he copied everything from Martin. He copied a lot of stuff from Martin. Now I have to double check to see if Jamie Foxx's Wanda character was already around before Martin's Shanae character, but when it comes to the personality, the behavior, the way he eats, that was all Martin. But I felt like when Jamie Foxx got his Jamie Foxx show, just like Martin had his Martin show, I felt like Jamie Foxx was taking all kind of stuff out of pages out of Martin's book and to elevate his show. So to me, I felt like he stole a lot of ideas, not musically, but creatively, comedically, and as far as like TV show wise, I felt like he was imitation Martin. I felt like he wasn't really fully in his bag yet, his Jamie Foxx bag. It was more so he just thrived off what Martin brought to the table, because Martin paved the way for a lot of other guys to be to go that route that he did, because Martin was he was a comedian as well, but then he became an actor and an impersonator, or at least creative. You know what I mean? So Martin paved the way for a lot of other people. Eddie Murphy did too, but Martin took his creativity to a whole nother level. Jerome, Roscoe, Shanae, old man Otis, a lot of stuff. But Jamie Foxx was a fake Martin to me for a long time. But then once Jamie got that fame, next thing you know, he's over here acting like he was that guy, or like he was the originator of his craft and what he does. And to me, in my eyes, that wasn't really the case. But he became successful, and he also used his talent musically to help build up his resume and his celebrity and his fame. So I felt like I can't just give Jamie Foxx, I can't just be all 100% feeling 100% sorry for him, because I used to sit back, and watch how Jamie Foxx would act towards other fellow actors and actresses around him, people that was in his industry. I didn't like the way Jamie Foxx used to treat other comedians and up-and-coming people that looked up to him, people that looked up to Jamie Foxx. He would shit on them and make them feel like they would never be as successful as he was. To when actually he should have been like rooting for them. He should have been trying to encourage them and giving them some advice on how to become successful. But it is what it is. Like I said, I met him in person too, even though, my dislikes for him wasn't because of my initial experience with him. I wasn't surprised that he was acting Hollywood with me when I first met him at my job at the Los Angeles Center Studios. But I know I saw that tattoo after he got out the car and he had his production company. It's a no-brainer. And he was shooting this pilot titled Tommy's Little Girl at the studios. I saw his big old head with the tattoo on it. So when Jamie Foxx popped up without the tattoo, I was like, ooh, what is going on? Does this boy get replaced by somebody? That was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, oh yeah, he got replaced. They got him up out of here. And then once he was hospitalized, my suspicion grew even more when I saw, or at least a week before he got hospitalized, my suspicions grew even more. And then in the aftermath of it, I was like, yeah, this cat, they over here energy harvesting on people, trying to keep us locked in on what's going on with Jamie, knowing damn well what happened to Jamie. We don't know, but them people know. But one thing I do know is this guy who we're seeing allegedly out in the public is not technically Jamie Foxx. Until they answer some real questions. So I would hope that these other comedians who are successful right now and doing their thing, hopefully they would be a good example, and they would help these other comedians who look up to them and who are trying to come up like them, help them to become successful. Don't tear them down and make them feel like they don't have it, or like they don't have enough to become famous and become celebrities like they are. Uplift your brother. Stop tearing your brothers down, and stop trying to make them feel like they're not on the level as you. Help them get to that level. Help them be the best version of themselves. But if you see talent in them and potential in them, don't try to diminish it by trying to spoil their reputation. Why don't you do your part to help elevate them and encourage them? So down the line, they can say, man, hey, salute to so-and-so, man. I remember when I was just up and coming as a comedian, so-and-so who was already successful, he didn't even have to do that, but he went out his way to help give me some pointers and give me some advice on what I need to do. And Jamie Foxx never did that in my eyes. I felt like he didn't really do that. He was always open and happy to tell his Hollywood stories and tell stuff that highlight him. But when it comes to anybody else, oh no, he would feel some kind of way. He didn't want nobody else to be relevant. He didn't want nobody else to be mentioned in the same breath as him. I didn't like that about Jamie Foxx. So, I don't wish death nor a stroke or anything like that on anybody, but I don't feel that sorry for Jamie Foxx, because I just feel like he was too reckless and too egotistical about himself, and I felt like he could have done a better job with how he represented himself as a comedian, as a black successful artist, because the man his talent was unmatched. but his ego was his detriment. So learn from Jamie Foxx's mistakes. Don't be so Hollywood, and don't let that fame get. This dude's from Texas now. I'm from LA, and I'm not Hollywood. Being an LA native and Hollywood being in LA County don't have nothing to do with my mentality. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just be humble and be open to help elevate people, you know. Don't feel yourself that much that you can't even take the time out to help uplift and elevate your brother or your sister. It's not all about you. The world don't revolve around you. This is a great big world, and you need to be helping protect and helping elevate your brother and sister. Y'all take it easy.